Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodhanandana Vrajajanaranjana. Yashodhanandana Vrajajanaranjana. Yamunatiraha Vanacharihim. Yamunatiraha Vanacharihim. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Viharihim. Jaya Krishna Rukmini Jaya Satyabhama. Krishna Rukmini Jaya Satyabhama. Jaya Gauranitahai Jaya Gauranitahai Gauranitahai Jaya Gauranitahai. Jaya Jaya Gurudev Prabhupada Gurudev Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jom Vishwapad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stotra Shata Srimati Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya, Biblit founder Acharya, save the whole universe Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad-Gita Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, Chapter 2, entitled Contents of Gita Summarized, verse number 20th. I'll read the verse myself. Na jayate vriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita na vanabhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. For the soul, there is never birth nor death, nor having once been does ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, undying and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Qualitatively, the small atomic fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit is one with the Supreme. He undergoes no changes like the body. Sometimes the soul is called the steady or kutastha. The body is subjected to 6 kinds of transformation. It takes its birth in the womb of the mother's body, remains for some time, grows, produces some effects, gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes into oblivion. The soul, however, does not go through such changes. The soul is not born, but because he takes on material body, the body takes his birth. The soul does not take birth there, and the soul does not die. Anything which has birth also has death. And because the soul has no birth, he therefore has no past, present, or future. He is eternal, ever existing, and primeval. That is, there is no trace in the history of his coming into being. Under the impression of the body, we seek the history of birth, etc., of the soul. The soul does not at any time become so old as the body does. The so called old man therefore feels himself to be in the same spirit as in his childhood or youth. The changes of the body do not affect the soul. The soul does not deteriorate like a tree, nor anything material. The soul has no byproduct either. The byproducts of the body, namely children, are also different individual souls, and owing to the body, they appear as children of a particular man. The body develops because of the soul's presence, but the soul has neither offshoots nor change. Therefore, the soul is free from the six changes of the body. In the Kata Upanishad also, we find a similar passage which reads, Na jayate vriyate va vipaschan, nayam kutaschin na vibhuva kaschit, ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano, na hanyate anyamane sharire. Kata Upanishad. The meaning and purport of this verse is the same as in Bhagavad-Gita. But here, in this verse, there is one special word, vipaschit, which means learned or with knowledge. The soul is full of knowledge or full always with consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is a symptom of the soul. Even if one does not find the soul within the heart, where is he situated, one can still understand the presence of the soul simply by the presence of consciousness. Sometimes we do not find the sun in the sky owing to the clouds or for some other reason, but the light of the sun is always there, and we are convinced that there is therefore daytime. As soon as there is little light in the sky early in the morning, we can understand that sun is in the sky. Similarly, since there is some consciousness in all bodies, whether man or animal, we can understand the presence of the soul. This consciousness of the soul is, however, different from the consciousness of the Supreme, because the Supreme Consciousness is all knowledge, past, present, and future. The consciousness of the individual soul is prone to be forgetful. When he is forgetful of his real nature, he obtains education and enlightenment from the supreme lessons of Krishna. But Krishna is not like the forgetful soul. If so, Krishna's teachings of Bhagavad Gita would be useless. There are two kinds of soul, namely minute soul, Anu Atma, and the super soul, Vibhu Atma. This is also confirmed in Kata Upanishad in this way. Anoraniyan Mahato Mayan Atmasya Jantur Nihito Guhayam Tam Akartuhu Pashyati Vita Shoka Dhatuhu Prasadan Mahiman Atmanaha. Both the super soul and the atomic soul are situated on the same tree of the body within the same heart of the living being, and only one who has become free from all material desires as well as lamentation can, by the grace of the Supreme, understand the glories of the soul. Krishna is the fountainhead of the super soul also, as it will be disclosed in the following chapters, and Arjuna is atomic soul, forgetful of his real nature. Therefore, he requires to be enlightened by Krishna or by his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shlakaya Chakshurinmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hope I am audible. Am I audible? Everyone can hear me? श्री श्री कृष्णा रुक्मिणी सत्यभामा की जय, गौरनीता की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय. Last year, we hosted G20 summit in our country. India was the host. This year, it is with whom? Who is the host? Brazil. It has taken up. So, in November or so, if I'm right, if I remember properly, there was a meeting and all the G20 members were invited and the entire country was geared up to receive them. Different arrangements was done. And it became a big news in the newspaper. Every day, they used to, this G20 was conducted in Ladakh. Some news came. In Delhi, some G20 people were taken to local markets and they were given the experience. Like this, so many news came. One of the news was, in front of Modi, one nameplate was kept. So it read Bharat. Actually, it is a nameplate of all the countries which the member belongs to. For example, if the member is from Russia, it says Russia. The country name it designates. Accidentally, it happened in front of Modi. The nameplate said Bharat instead of India. It became on news in the newspaper. Will Bharat replace India? Like that. So like this, so many news were there. So what we want to have today, what we want to discuss is, interestingly, how we got the name Bharat. How India got the name Bharat. Anybody? Senthil, you know how India got the name Bharat? Huh? Yeah, exactly. So Bharat Maharaj was ruling this part of the country. So that is why the entire name was called, this part was called Bharat. Last week we had Gaura Purnima festival. During the festival, which gives some upacharas to the Lord. And one of the upacharas, we chant this mantra, Bharat Avashye, Bharata Kande, Meroho, Dakshine Pashve, like that we chant. So this Bharat Vasha, where we are there, got the name because of Maharaj Bharat. He was ruling this part. So the name called Bharat or Bharata. Who is this Bharat? Who is this king Bharat Maharaj? Yeah, he is also, but the name Bharat came from some other king, not the brother of Ram. You are right, Bharat is also one of the Ram's brother's name. But the name, how Bharat came, is because of another king. Anyone has idea? Who is that? Yeah. Who is that? Okay. Okay, you are very close. Of course, we are all, if you go back, we are all the grandchildren of Brahma only. That is a fact. So from Brahma, he was what? He is a Shushtikarta. So all the things came from him only. So what his answer is right. So to be very specific, Bharat was the son of Rishabhadeva. Rishabhadeva is the incarnation of the Lord. So one of the incarnation of the Lord is Rishabhadeva. He incarnated and he was ruling the kingdom. So his son was Bharat. So naturally, he was a great devotee of the Lord. And when the responsibility of ruling the kingdom was given to him, he took that responsibility and he carried out the duties very loyally. As a king, he took care of his subjects. He offered a lot of sacrifices for the well-being of the citizen and for the state. So he ruled the king very nicely. So to honor him, this entire land was known as Bharata Vasha. So then, what happened? When the destiny, seeing his, the greatness of Bharat, it fixed the number of years of enjoyment. It fixed 1,000 years of 10,000. How much it is? 1,000 years of 10,000? Some unimaginable number, some 10 crore, something like that, if roughly, or 1 crore, something, for the enjoyment. Because he has done so much, it gave that much enjoyment for him. He can enjoy the kingdom, he can rule the kingdom. The destiny fixed it. After his lifetime was over, what he did, like after this much amount of years was over, he retired from the kingly duties. And what he did? He went to an ashram. He went to Pulaha ashram. It's on the bank of Gandaki river. It's somewhere in Haridwar, some part of that. And he settled there and he started doing tapasya for the Lord. Actually, in the Vedic culture, this was a system. There was 4 ashramas: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and last one is Sannyas. So Sannyas, so after leaving with the family, the last part of the life is to go away from the family, and it's for our own time, connect with the Supreme Lord. That is Sannyas. So this king also, after ruling the state for that a number of years, he went to this ashram, which is located on the Pula ashram, and he started sannyas, rules of sannyas. He started engaging in devotional service. What is the speciality of Pula ashram? You know, there is this place is very special. It's because of 2 reasons. The first reason is the Supreme Lord, whatever the devotee desires, he grants that. Usually devotees wants to see the Lord face to face, meet the Lord. So that desire also will be satisfied here. And the second speciality is, in this river, in this place, Gandaki river flows. You know what is have you heard about this Gandaki river? Any one of you? Gandaki river? In Gandaki river, you get the saligramas. You know saligramas? It's a round pebble, marble pebble. And usually they say it's a representative of Lord Vishnu. On that pebble, some special marks like conch and all will be there. So by that they identify saligrama. Here also in our altar also we have saligrama. Once the altar opens, you can have darshan. In front of Dwarakadish, we have kept 2 saligramas. We were worshipping it. So we get saligramas in that Gandaki river. So these 2 are the speciality of the Gandaki river. So this Bharat Maharaj lived in one of the garden in that ashram, and every day was performing his rites, rituals, morning rituals, and the entire day was engaged in offering sacrifices and engaging in different types of devotional service. One day in the morning, when he was doing his morning sacrifices, rituals, he found a deer which is about to give birth. She was thirsty, and she was taking the water from the Gandaki river. And nearby a lion was there, and lion roared. When the lion roared, what happened? We'll all be happy. When the lion rose, we'll be running for life. So the deer also became, it was confused what to do, and it started running for his life. It crossed the river and went to the other side of the river. And while crossing, what happened? It had a baby in his womb. That baby fell down in the water. And no mother can see that baby fallen into water. So deer was very grieved by seeing his baby in the water. And also she was separated from the other deers. So because of these 2 reasons, she could not bear the separation and she passed away. And Bharat Maharaj what was Bharat Maharaj doing all the way? He was seeing what is the entire thing happening. So he was seeing, and he saw that deer is also in water, and he went and rescued the deer. He took the deer from the water, and he started nurturing the deer, because it was orphan. No one was there to take care. So Bharat Maharaj thought it is his responsibility, and he started taking care of the deer nicely. So in due course of time, Bharat Maharaj was in the highest stage of transcendental. Before all this deer incident happened, he was in the highest stage. He was in the last stage of devotion service. But after this deer incident happened, he was so attached, he became attached to the deer. Can the children be quiet? Is it okay? Yes, thank you. So he became attached to the deer, and he lost the path of devotional service. The whole life he spent for taking care of the deer only. Naturally, a person who is born has to die. So the time for Bharat Maharaj also came to depart. So when he was departing, he was remembering deer. So what he got? Next life, he got a deer body. This is a principle explains in Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavad-Gita explains, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajet ante kalevram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitah. Whatever state of mind one has while giving up the body, next body he attains that. He gets that. Suppose we think of some X person, we become that. So Bharat Maharaj was thinking of the deer, he became the deer in the next life. So, but Bharat Maharaj was blessed because he could remember what was his state, what he was in the previous life. So he was very careful. Although he was in a deer body, he was very careful not to repeat the mistakes what he has done in the previous body. So he went out again to this ashram which is on the Gandaki river and started, engaging in a devotional service in the deer body itself. And at the end of the deer body, next body he caught a birth in the Brahmana's body, in a family of Brahmana. He became the son of a Brahmana. And he executed the Brahminical culture and perfected his life and went back to Godhead. So why this entire story was narrated? Here, what is Krishna saying in this translation? Krishna is saying, for the soul there is never birth nor death, nor having once been does ever cease to be. So, Bharat Maharaj and Prabhupada nicely in the purport says, we are not just bodies, we are the spirit soul. We are occupying this body. Like that, Prabhupada is saying that. So Bharat Maharaj, although he got different bodies, he was the same person. Means the soul is same. That is what the translation also says. So even the bodies are changing, we are the same person. So we have to understand we are the spirit soul, not this body. Why Krishna is bringing this point? Why Krishna is explaining this point in Bhagavad-Gita at this point? Because in the first chapter, what was the content of first chapter? Anybody can help me? What first chapter of Bhagavad-Gita speaks? Arjuna, yes. In that chapter, what Arjuna says? Arjuna gives reasons why he should not fight. What are reasons? Can anybody help me? What are the reasons Arjuna gives? You don't know? Okay. Anyone knows? Exactly. One of the reasons is he did not want to fight with his own family men. Good. Anyone else? That is one of the reasons. Yeah, yes. Exactly. He did not want to kill his grandfathers and also his teachers. That is why Krishna is saying, sir, you are thinking you are killing, but you are not killing them. They are all spirit souls. There was no time they were existing. They existed, they are all eternals. They existed from the very beginning. So don't think like that. Your duty as a Kshatriya is to fight in the battlefield. You do that fighting. For that reason, Krishna is bringing what we are, this point in Bhagavad-Gita. And also Prabhupada is very nicely saying, there are 6 Shad transformations, 6 transformation body undergoes. What are the 6 transformations? It takes birth and it remains for some time, grows, then produces some effects, gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes. So anything, a person, a tree, an animal, any object, anybody will undergo all this 6 transformation. If you analyze, these are the 6 transformation every one of us go through. And Prabhupada concludes the purport by saying that Krishna, being the super soul, Krishna is a super soul. He is Vibhu Atma, and we are the minute particle soul. We are Anu Atma, and we are limited. Krishna is unlimited. Our knowledge is limited. Krishna's knowledge is unlimited. Like that, and Prabhupada is concluding that Krishna is the fountainhead of the super soul also, as it will be disclosed in the following chapters, and Arjuna is atomic soul, forgetful of his real nature. Therefore, he requires to be enlightened by Krishna or by his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. So same thing actually, one of the interesting point, Arjuna asked the same question to Krishna. Krishna says in the 4th chapter that I explained this knowledge to sun god first. Aham vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avayam vivaswan manave praha manurikshake abravit. He's telling like this. I've explained this knowledge to sun god, and sun god told to his son, and his son. So this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is flowing in like this. Arjuna got a doubt. Krishna, you are telling you have explained to Manu, and Manu is, great grandfather. He's a fountainhead. Like from him, all the people came. You are saying like this, but you and me I and you are friends. We are on same timeline. How can I understand that you explained this to Manu? He asked this question in the 4th chapter. He says that and for that, Krishna says, what is exactly Arjuna asks is, Aparam bhavato janma, param janma vivasvataha, katam etad vijaniya, tvamado proktavaniti. To understand that in the beginning you have instructed this science to him. For that, Krishna says, many, many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of enemy. And he says, although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So he is telling again here the same principle what Prabhupada is saying at the end, that he remembers everything, and we as an Anu Atma does not remember our past. We are stuck up in the present. And to get out of this, actually we also as a Anu Atma as all the characteristics of the Vibhu Atma. Just like Prabhupada gives a drop of the salt water in an ocean, and the ocean quality is the same. Like if you take a drop of ocean water, it is also salty. And if you take the ocean, that is also salty. So qualitatively, drop and the whole is same. So qualitatively, we as a Anu Atma, small soul, and the super soul are same. So how do we realize this? How do we realize we are same? By executing devotional service. By following the principles of devotional service, we can understand that qualitatively we are same, and we are the soul. We can understand all these things. And by executing devotional service, the first, the initial stage of devotional service is by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. That is what they say. Ado bhajana kriya. It's by our entire devotional service starts with chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. So request everybody to chant the Hare Krishna mantra daily 108 times. It will just take 10 minutes of your and you can realize all these things, that who we are and what is our nature, and the things of principles of Bhagavad-Gita. So we'll stop with this. Srimad Bhagavad-Gita ki jai. Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama ki jai. Gaur Nitai ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.